In this lesson, we will learn about UVs and their use in computer graphics. UVs are a very simple solution to a very complex problem that artists face when placing a texture on a 3D object. Take this 3D polygon object, for example. Now, it was built in 3D space, and it has many sides, and if we had to figure out how to put a texture on this object, it would be very difficult. What makes it difficult is because the object is in 3D space, but an image or a texture is in 2D space. So taking this image and trying to place it on this 3D object isn't going to give us the results we would like. So we are going to have to use a technique called UV mapping. UVs act as a bridge between 2D and 3D and allow us to place a 2D image exactly where we want it on a 3D object. Let's split our view here and look at a 3D object and at the same time look at its UV information, also called a UV map. Notice that as I select a vertex, it simultaneously selects its corresponding UV. So each vertex is assigned one UV. Looking at this example, you can see that the polygon object and the UVs look nothing alike, but actually have a lot in common. Each face on our polygon object is tied to a face on our UV map. Think of a UV map as our 3D object just stretched out and flat so we can easily paint on it. When artists are working with UVs, they often refer to this process as laying out the UVs or UV mapping. There are a few things we need to keep in mind while mapping UVs. UVs need to be spaced evenly to work well, otherwise your texture will get distorted. Now, you can use a checkerboard texture or a special grid with numbers and colors to ensure that your texture is nice and even all over your object. Another issue we run into are seams. And it's almost impossible to not have a seam, so plan out where you can hide them on your object. You might be able to hide it on the back of the object or where a natural seam would occur anyways. The UV system and UV mapping allow us to create a 2D representation of a 3D object. Now, this gives us a great deal of control when painting textures and is an important part of creating good-looking objects.